welcome back to Balance While Blooming. I am a little bit raspy, I'm a little bit sick, but we are doing our monthly budget with me for the month of March. We may have interruptions. My cat is all over the place, so we are trying to get her to calm down, laying down behind me, but we will see how that goes. For March, we are jumping right in. So February closeout was pretty good, and March is going to be February 27th through March 25th. And this is our March for 2024. There we go. March of 2024. Perfect. Now, what we do here is we have our income, we have our bills and expenses, we have our debt. For our debt, all we have is a car payment, but in here you could put credit card debt, student loans, anything like that. Luckily, we've paid off our student loans, we've paid off any of our credit, and we only have a car loan. Our sinking funds include our emergency fund, anything that we're saving for, and anything that we're putting into our savings for either a trip, a project, anything that isn't in the moment that we're spending that we need to save and budget for later. And then our spending funds are categories for what we spend. Now, if you're new here, a big thing from Balance While Blooming is we want you to balance your wants with your needs. So your wants are the things such as trips, your spending, all the things that you want in life. And then your needs are your bills and expenses, paying off your debt, and making sure that you have an emergency fund. Now, all of last month was all about money, so I'm not going to go too much in depth in that, but I really want you to start tracking your spending, tracking your income, and making sure that you are balancing your life, because finances are a big part of your balanced life. If you have the financial struggle, you'll have a hard time blooming into that person that you want to be. So the first step is figuring out how your life is going to be with money and figuring out how you're going to transition that into every area of your life. So let's get into our income. I am married, so we are a dual income, and we rent out a few of our rooms in our house for tenants and then anything else that we do. So this month we only have our regular 4 paychecks and our 2. His last paycheck is actually on the 26th, and we are counting that into this budget just as a heads up. So we only have our 4 paychecks, but I do have some exciting news. We have more money pulled from savings, so I'm going to write from savings. And I also have rollover from last month. We decided to not put it into savings, and what we're going to do with that money is a rollover. So if you didn't watch our February closeout, we did have a decent amount to roll over to this next month to use it this month into our income and balance it this month. Now, I'm also going to tell you that we want to get zero-based here. We are a zero-based budget. We are a family of 3. It's my husband, my stepson, and I. And then we also have a house of 6 people, so we have 3 tenants that live throughout our house. So our groceries are a little bit higher due to that. Our electricity bill, all of those things, put those into consideration that we are getting rent from them, but we are also paying some of the bills and expenses for the house that aren't included in rent. So for my husband, we keep him at $350. Lately, he's always been more than that, but it's always our safe bet to go under than over. I'd rather zero base for less and have a rollover and be able to use that money somewhere else like we wanted to do. Like this month, where this money is going to go right into there, but also have a little bit of buffer if something comes up or an emergency comes up. We have some money to sit on. Same with my paychecks. I get paid about $1,600, but I do $1,500 in our budget just in case. Even though I'm salary, it gives us a $100 buffer just in case something happens every single bi-weekly that I get paid. If we have that extra bill or we spent a little bit more, that $100 buffer is there. For our tenants, they pay $1,400 between the three of them, and that is really good for us. As you'll see, our rent is $1,400, so they equal that out for us. Pulled from savings, we pulled another $2,000. We pulled $3,000 last month, and then rollover from last month was $1,800. So let's figure out how much this is. It's not our best, especially because we have so much rolled over and we have 2 less paychecks than normal, but that's okay. Let's figure out what this is going to add up to. Okay, so not bad actually. We have $9,600. And that being said, that's a good income for us. Of course, we are trying to work on passion projects, hobbies, and other things that can make us some money. And just as a reminder that you are in control of your income. If you don't like your job or you don't get paid enough, find another job. Figure out how to make it work for you, and also make sure that you are staying within your budget, or you have to work more or cut your budget back if your income does not match what you need to spend in a month. Now, that being said, because we're a zero-based budget, everything else needs to add up to $9,600. We have $9,600 to distribute through all of these categories to be a zero-based budget. And that being said, we can put 0 there now because that is our goal. Bills and expenses, these are your needs. These are things that you need to pay for. Now, I will be honest with you, your needs are your rent, your water, phone for a lot of people, electricity, groceries, gas, and health insurance. Those are really your needs. Now, we put in here our subscriptions, which is kind of like our groceries. Internet is not a need, and your gym is not a need. I consider it a need just because it's something that for our mental health and our physical health, it is important to us. Subscriptions, these are extra groceries for us, things for our animals, stuff like that. Internet, it is not a need, it's a want. So if you do need to cut back on anything, I would recommend your internet. But let's break down what they are for us. So we pay, as I said, $1,400 in rent. Water bill, there's no water bill this month. We will have it next quarter or next month for the quarter. Our internet is always $115, $35 for our phone bill, super cheap. $200 for electric, just in case we haven't got our bill yet. Groceries, $9.58. Because gym is $52, that makes this even. Gas is a little bit more this month at $300. We actually have 0 for our health insurance and only $50 for our subscriptions. We paid a few months forward, so we don't have any health insurance this month. If we have any rollover, I do want to pay a little bit more of that next month again. So that will be on the lookout if we have money at the end of this month to pay towards our health insurance. So let's add this up. Typically, it's anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 is where we sit for this category. We're right in that category of $3,110. So that being said, let's jump right into our debt, and then we can talk about our bills and expenses. And I really want to talk about our debt, some of our income, and how we're putting that into it this month. Going into our debt, we only have a car loan, but we also want to do a principal payment. And so that being said, our principal payment is going to be the $2,000. Now, when we were figuring out the rest of our budget, we figured out that we couldn't actually do this other $1,800 to our principal payment, and you guys will see why, just because of the other goals and other things we have. But our regular car payment is about $160 bi-weekly, so it's $320. So to quickly add that up, of course it's $2,000 plus the $320, which brings you to $2,320. So that is what we're paying towards our car. Now, let's figure out what this needs to be for our sinking funds. Of course, when we do our sinking funds, it is going to be our spending funds and our sinking funds together to equal this number, right? So to get this number, let's figure out what that is. You take your income minus your bills and expenses minus your debt, and it brings you to $4,170. And those will be broken down by the sinking and spending funds. So let's talk about what we are going to spend our money on. So of course, we have a few normal things that are on here if you've watched this before. So this is his, hers, dine out. Then we have other and miscellaneous. This is other things that we get, such as vitamins or supplements, anything like that. And then this month is our anniversary, so we have an anniversary trip coming up. Anniversary. Wow, that's spelled wrong, but there we go. Then we have car. We have a few parts to get, we have inspection stickers to get, we have oil changes to do, all of those things. So we do have cars. And then taxes, we have no idea if we are going to receive money. We are hoping to get money back, of course, but I can't guarantee that. So that being said, we want to make sure that we have some money to the side if we are going to have to pay. We want to have that already budgeted in. That being said, let's break this down. So for taxes, of course, we want the $1,000. If we have to pay $1,000, I'm gonna be pissed. I hope we get some money back, to be honest, but I want to be realistic. Now, our car is gonna be about $800, which also we were very low on our car from last month. So technically I think of this $800 as these car parts and all of that stuff. Then I want to put our anniversary. That's going to be another $600. We spent about $600 last month, and that is for our week away. This is going to be our meals. This is going to be any activities that we do. Anything in there is going to be within the $600. We are staying in an Airbnb. It's already paid for. Now, I want to hold off on his, hers, and other because I want to save for our home. Our home is our home project. This is for our patio and our back deck and patio out there. So we are redoing our whole front deck, our whole back deck, and expanding our front patio and doing a full back patio. We have it almost fully funded, but we do need the last $700. So I do need this $700 in here to be taken away from this. So now that we have the $700 in all of these, let's figure out how much of the $4,170 we have for his, hers, dine out, and other. And that's where we figure out how to get to our zero-based budget. So, of course, you're going to take the $4,170 minus the $700, and then minus the $1,000, minus $800, minus $600. That leaves you with $1,070. Now, for his and $600, and that should leave us about something in $70 left. So, $600 gets minused, and that leaves $470 for other. Now let's add this up and make sure that this number and this number equals the $4,170. Perfect, it does. And we actually are going to be spending $3,470 here. Now we can move this 4,100 and $70 over here. Now, as I said, this is not a normal month for us. We have our anniversary trip, we have our taxes that are variable with us being married and filing jointly, doing all of that. We want to just be safe because last year I had to pay and last year my husband got to save, so hopefully we get to walk away with gaining money. Hopefully we're able to move this $1,000 over to more principal pay. We are trying to pay off our car. In this $2,000, we will be 50% way through paying off our car, and I could not be happier. We just bought the car in October, but my biggest thing is know your income, know where you're spending your money, make sure that you are balancing your wants with your needs, and understand that you are in control of where you spend your money, how much money you make, and that you can be financially free, whatever that means for you. For me, it's having a nice nest egg for if anything happens and being able to save for the things that I want on the side. That's for us, so I make sure that we can have our anniversary trips, that we can have the things we want, and that we're able to live within our means for 3 to 6 months if anything comes up with an emergency fund. And our main goal is to get this interest out of here. We have such a high interest car loan. Get that out of here as soon as possible. So next month is going to be very cut back on our spending funds, and hopefully whatever we get from our taxes and stuff can go into our other projects that we are working on as well, such as our house and so much more. And of course, join this community. Follow me over on Instagram. I do personal development, budgeting, planning, time management, and so much more. And money is just one side of balancing your life. And so keep balancing your life, keep balancing the things you want to do with the things you need to do, and bloom into your best self one step at a time. And I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.